one of the things that we decided to do, and I guess it came from being a female minister, was to really begin to focus on closing that gender gap. And just like the Honourable Minister said, we had a number of programs for women and girls within the ministry, starting again from the very, very early, we had digital girls' clubs, where girls would come together and actually begin to understand about computers. They would take these computers apart, put them together again. They would learn to code. They would learn to do these programming languages that would be fun, and basically just trying to create that interest. I think what was more important, so all of that was important. We had Huawei working with us to actually train 1,000 low-skilled girls and women to actually begin to get jobs in the world of technology. But I think what is more important now, and we can talk about that later, is really, it's a question that you ask the Honourable Minister. After you do all these things, and what these things do is they create an awareness for young women and for girls of the possibilities of jobs and opportunities in technology. You have to take it a little bit further than that. And the work that I do now is really, it begins to show what is showing right now, the glaring gap. And it's not so much about inclusion. It's about what I do now is I invest in companies, technology companies, and not so much startups, but let's just say startups. So we invest in technology startups across the continent. And there are very few female entrepreneurs. And that's where you begin to see the gap. And so the pipeline, we need to build that pipeline of women that are interested, passionate about technology, and are willing or passionate enough to want to create a business around that technology. And we're really missing that now, because when I look around the continent, when we look at the thousands of companies that we are looking at to potentially invest in, there are very few female entrepreneurs. And that's a real challenge. And that's what we really need to work towards, where it's not just about creating the awareness and making sure that they know about the possibilities, but it's about beginning to encourage them to actually step out there, make that bold step, to have companies that are technology-based or technology-led. I think we've moved the needle for sure. We were at about 6% in 2011. We're probably in the mid to high 20s now. So there has been a lot of progress. In terms of budgetary allocation, I think that's the other point that needs to be made, that a lot of the work that we're doing in ICTs cannot just be about government alone. Just like here, we have to aggregate and, we have to attract investments into that sector. And that's really what it is. It can't be just government doing this work. And my work as government is going to come and haunt me. I've not been minister for 3 or 4 years now. But we have to be able to attract investments into this sector by doing the things that we do. The broadband plan was a basis for which everybody could contribute to actually improving broadband in Nigeria. It wasn't just about government. It was actually developed with a whole lot of stakeholders that had an interest in ensuring that we had better broadband. In terms of timelines, we had a very broad timeline. It was by 2018, I believe, to have reached 30%. We're in 2018, we haven't reached the 30%, but that doesn't mean that it's been a failure. It just means that we need to do a lot more. Not only in Nigeria, but I think in many African countries, we need to do a lot more.